fine, dear.
You can start.
Okay. Thank you so much, dear Dr. Almeida. Myself, Dr. Tapsi Nagpal. I have done my bachelor's in electrical engineering, master's in power systems, both from PTU Jalandhar, and doctorate in transformer fault diagnosis systems from Thapa University, Patiala. I am currently employed as an associate professor, computer science and information technology at Lingyas Vidyapeeth, Faridabad. I am also working as research and PhD coordinator of the university. My education and academic experience has provided me with a variety of significant insights into the engineering curriculum in terms of academic, research, and industry sectors over the past 11 years of teaching. I have published 11 research articles in peer-reviewed journals and presented several research papers both in national and international conferences. I have 4 international patents to my account. I have been an active member of various academic and research committees. I am also reviewer of the maiden Delhi chapters of IEEE. Now, let's talk about the prestigious international forum platform, that is IIU, International Internship University. It's a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs, and it is committed to provide better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit sir. Mr. Piyush Pandit is a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing the education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. Now, I would like to have the permission of the host to share my presentation.
You have.
Can I share my presentation, ma'am?
Sure. You can.
Thank you. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, visible.
Okay. Thank you so much, dear. Let's talk on the topic, a stepping stone towards success, goal focus. It's a beautiful topic. See, everybody in this world is having one purpose or the other. So we are having some or the other goal in our life. Let's talk about the goals. Learning objectives. Now, what I believe is that a human being is a learner throughout the life, whether it is a student or a teacher or anybody else. So let's talk about the learning objectives. Learning objectives are measurable sub-goals, small goals of a lesson, and they inform particular learning outcomes. Writing learning objectives keeps you focused and helps you to do planning. It's easily achieved with the use of action verbs that describe learner capabilities at the end of a course. See, let's now understand what is the meaning of action verbs. See, we should be having the positive thoughts. We should never be negative in our actions or our words. Whatever we think, that is put into the action by us. So we should always be positive. Right. From the learner's point of view, objectives help them understand what the instructor expects from the learner and what they must expect amongst themselves. Now let's understand the difference between goals and objectives. Now goals express the hopes and values regarding the overall educational experience. While when we talk about objectives, objectives are the choices on the learning strategies, lesson material, and all the instructional activities. Goals represent the perspective on the course, describing what the course will be doing. And the objectives represent what your learners will be capable of by the end of the course. Goals, they give the description of the long-term goals that are not directly measurable. Now, what do we understand by not directly measurable? See, the short-term goals may be minute goals, hour goals, day goals, right? Weekly goals, fortnightly goals, but the long-term goals, they are maybe annual, maybe 2-year goals, maybe 5-year goals. So they are not directly measurable. One will have to wait till a year or 2 or 3 or 5, right? So long-term aims, they are not directly measurable. Talking about the objectives, objectives give description of the assessments with which we evaluate our learners. Like students, they have to be evaluated, like we evaluate them through assignments we give them. We give them assignments in the form of questions, right? Then goals convey the kind of experience we want to create for our students, while the objectives convey the standards and expectations we are having from them. What do we expect from our students and what standards we are expecting from them once they learn whatever we are teaching them. Now, what is a goal? Goal is a desired result. What do we mean by desired? Desired is that what we are doing or what we are having in our heart. So goal is a desired result that a person plans and commits to achieve. See, we think in our heart that we will do something, we plan accordingly, and we are committed to achieve that. Goal like to achieve. Now, how we decide our goal? What is goal setting? We have to think what is priority for us, what is important. Goal is something which you want to be able to achieve. It could be a very small goal and it could be a very big goal. Like goal for a student can range from a classroom behavior goal to a reading goal or to a studying goal and so on. Now, what is the importance of goal? We feel so energetic and focused when we are having a purpose in our life or a goal in our life and we are trying to achieve that goal. See, let's see 3 quotes by well-known people. Like Muhammad Ali says, what keeps me going are goals. Tony Robbins says, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Michelle Obama says, one of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself and never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. Now, goal orientation, it's very important. See, whatever goal you decide, you should be very much oriented, very much inclined towards that goal. See, our actions should be inclined towards our goal. Only then we can achieve our goal. So what is goal orientation? It is the degree by which a person or a group of people work towards completing specific goals, particular goals. So there are 2 components. One is we create the goals, then purposeful pursuit of their fulfillment. We decide our actions so that we can fulfill that goal. Goal setting is a golden. So what is the golden rule for setting a goal? Set goals that motivate you. Do not set the goals that somebody tells you. Set the goals which are desired by you, which are in your heart, so that you feel self-motivated. Just like somebody says, when an idea comes in your mind, it's just a dream. And when you write it down, it becomes a goal. Goal setting. Setting a goal puts your brain to work in one particular direction, whether we believe it or not. By having a defined goal, our brain does magical work. It works unconsciously for 24/7 with full efficiency so that the desired results are achieved. Goal setting is very important. Why? Because it shifts our focus, it boosts us, it motivates us, and gives us a sense of direction. Now, the better and faster we accomplish new heights, the happier and merrier we are. Goal setting. Now, how do we set the goal? See the goals we set. We achieve those goals and feel so much satisfied and successful. What is this talking about? Success at work and life is all about achieving our goals. That's why goal setting and goal achievement have become so important parts of a modern life. Motivation. It's a very, very vital part for a goal to be achieved. See, when somebody motivates you, be it a friend, be it parents, or be it somebody else in your life who is very, very important. So if you get motivated, so you can come out of any slump or the worst condition. So without the motivation, it's not possible to work hard and overcome the challenges. Motivation is very important for any goal setting process. Without it, it will be very difficult to reach our goals. Think about the results. We should always think about the results, right? Whether this goal is important for us or not. Let's see. Before you set a goal, take a closer look at what you are trying to achieve and ask yourself the questions. Is this goal something you truly want? Is it important enough to pour hours of time and efforts into it? If you are not willing to put in the time, it may not be worth pursuing. If you create a long list of goals to pursue all at the same time, you may have a difficult time achieving any of them. So friends, make a list of goals which are achievable. May it be a small list of goals. Instead, use the questions to determine which goals matter the most to you right now, and then focus on those few goals. Frame your goals. Now, let's complete the frame process. What do we mean by frame? Frame, F stands for fantasize. Turn your fantasies into goals. Reality, work hard to turn your fantasies into reality. What actually this point wants to say is that fantasy is something which is not real, which we can only imagine. So he says, whatever we decide in our life, we should first imagine it, and then we should try our level best that it becomes the reality. So what it says, we should work hard to turn those fantasies into reality, and we should aim high yet realistic goals. Those goals which are in real good goals. Method, decide which goal you want to accomplish. Evaluation, we should review the progress and reflect on the success and failures. Pen your goals. What he says, that we should write our goals. Writing down the goals on a paper or in a Word document is very important for three main reasons. What? Number one, the motivation to achieve them increases along with the self-accountability. Whatever we write, we become responsible for that. So you embed them deeply into our mind, and this makes them more tangible and easier to recall. You are 42% more likely to achieve goals if you have written them, according to a study conducted by Dr. Gail Matthews, psychology professor at Dominican University of California. In spite of these benefits, Brian Tracy says pointedly, only 3% of adults have written goals and everyone else works for them. Now let's talk about an activity. It's an interesting activity, the winning lottery ticket. What would you do if you win $20 millions? Wow! You want to know? Let's say the participants would spend or save the money and their priorities. What will they do? Will they spend the money or they will save the money according to the priorities? And after 5 minutes, let's see that the winning prize has dropped to $10 million. Then the individuals list the revisions they would want to make and the new priorities they would make. We can have the individuals list the revisions they would want to make and the new priorities they would make. Ask what changes they would make to their goals and the priorities. This activity aims to help participants or the individuals identify and prioritize their core values and the priorities. Having a clear understanding of the organizational core principles can help employees achieve their objectives in the workplace. Now, how to set realistic goals? Those goals which are not only imaginable, they are a reality. Now we have the concept of SMART goals. Now, what are the SMART goals? SMART. S stands for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, T for time bound. Let's see what are the SMART goals. SMART goals. When setting goals for yourself, consider whether or not they are relevant or they are irrelevant. Each of the goals should align with your values and larger long-term goals. I told you beforehand that the long-term goals may be annual goals, maybe 2-year goals, maybe 3-year, 4-year or 5-year goals. So we should align our actions, our values towards the long-term goals. If a goal doesn't contribute towards your broader objectives, you might rethink it. Ask yourself why the goal is important to you, how achieving it will help you, and how it will contribute. Now let's have one example. Let us select a goal of having at least 6-point CGPA for the semester. Now, how we will define the motivation? Scholar badge. When we will get the scholar badge? If we accomplish the goal, we will be awarded the scholar badge. That means if a student scores at least 6.8 CGPA in a semester, he or she will be provided the scholar badge. How this goal will be achieved? He will do what? He or she will do what? He will break the goal down. That means the smaller goals build to the larger goals. Larger goal is 6.8 CGPA. The individual will do what he will do? He will just break that goal into smaller goals, one bite at a time. For example, he will attend every class. SMART goal. A widely accepted goal setting practice is to decide what you want to obtain or achieve and then write down a SMART goal. SMART goals are specific in what they define. Who, what, when, and where of your goal. SMART goals should also be measurable so you can track your progress and they should be easy to measure. Goal is something which you want to be able to achieve. Let's talk about another activity. Review your yesterday. This activity starts with the individuals listing 10 tasks they accomplished the previous day at work. Afterwards, the individuals will list the professional milestones they want to reach in the next year. The next step is to have the participants review the 2 responses. Ask if the individuals what they accomplished the day before helped them achieve their long-term objectives. This goal-setting activity shows the impact of using minor objectives to reach a larger goal. It is critical to evaluate the present situation to establish what has to be changed. Also, one should emphasize the long-term benefits of doing minor but important activities every day. Game plan. We should be having a good plan for us for any goal to be achieved. Many people decide on a goal but never create an action plan to determine how exactly they will meet that goal. Your action plan should include the overall goal you are trying to meet and all the steps you need to take to get there. Don't be afraid to get creative with your action plan. One should be very creative, very innovative. Let's go back to our elementary school days and get creative. Write out your goal using crayons, markers, or colored pencils, for example. According to Forbes, creating an action plan this way activates a different part of our brain and cements the goal in our mind. Detailed action plan. Make a list of everything we'll have to do to achieve our goal. This becomes an action plan, focusing you in setting the milestones and the actions we need to take to reach our goals. These actions need to be arranged sequentially and in the priority order. Now, what is a sequence? Sequence tells us what we have to do before you do something else. In date, like today, I have to do today at 9 a.m. What I have to do, that's the order. Priority is placing what is more important before what is less important. So remember, as we do this, the 80/20 rule, which says that 80% of our results will come from 20% of our activities. When you have a goal and a plan, we increase the likelihood of achieving our goals enormously. Event planning. Planning is very important. Define the event goals and objectives. Your objectives create the roadmap to achieve our goals. Objectives are more specific than goals, and they should be written in detail to define the narrow, measurable, and the tangible results you hope your event will produce. Now, what is tangible? Tangible is what we can see actually. For example, if our goal is to reach potential university applicants, your objective could be distribute 200 campus information flyers or to collect 50. The better and faster we accomplish new heights, the happier and merrier we are. Timeline. It's a very important aspect of achieving the goal. Like, as part of our action plan, use a timeline maker to help visualize what? Roles, tasks, milestones, and the deadlines to achieve our goal. Deadlines are very important. Once we set a deadline, then we make up our mind that we will be reaching the goal by this date. Once you have set the date, try to stick to them as closely as possible. A timeline creates a sense of urgency that this task is urgent. We should not be lazy enough to skip something, which in turn motivates us to stay on schedule and finish our goal. Again, another activity, standing ovation. This activity requires the individuals to think about one of their most important objectives. Then the individuals need to close their eyes and pretend that they have accomplished their goals. They can imagine themselves in front of a crowd praising them. The members can also include as many details as possible to make the scene more realistic. The individuals can then open their eyes, write down their goals and steps that they will take to achieve the goals. The individuals should have 10 minutes to write down the processes that led up to the standing ovation and then move back to the current time. Team members learn how to create goals backward in this goal setting activity by beginning with the ultimate goal and then thinking about the lesser objectives leading up to the goal. The individuals can determine the major milestones to aim for initially. Setting goals backward makes it easier to follow the process and eliminates any ambiguity from using the conventional goal setting approach. Implementation, another vital part of goals. Having smart goals and an action plan, it is a huge step forward, but it is only half of the battle won. Now you have to achieve it. Implementation is the aspect of goal setting with which people have the most trouble. To implement our plan, to achieve our goals, you need focus and what else? Self-discipline. You also need to ensure you are not constantly distracted by the issues of the day. Whatever challenges come our way, we should not be distracted by those challenges. Nickel Bottle of Entrepreneur Circle recommends creating a 90-minute block of time each day when you can concentrate on the most important tasks in your plan. It seems unreasonable as it will do most. Start by blocking 90 minutes at the start or at the end of each week to realign your diary to ensure that you are using your time effectively to implement your plans. Focus and concentration are keys to success. Focus means what? That you know exactly what it is that you want to accomplish. What is concentration? It requires that you dedicate yourselves to do only those things that move you towards your goals. Now, another vital organ to achieve goals. Very, very important. It's very important to review the progress against our goals on a regular basis. Just like a student is having his review in the form of tests, terminals, then half yearly, then end terminals. Similarly, we should review our goals weekly, monthly, or annually. Regularly reviewing the goals provides you with a good reminder of what you are working towards and keeps you on the track. As important as it is for you to set goals for your business, it's also important that you regularly review them. We have different types of goals. Job goals. What are your job goals? Setting job goals are not that difficult if you could set your priorities and vision well from the beginning. Why? Because it is in that way that you would learn and know where to start in your planning and preparation. You can still learn while already having a job, and it would even enhance your knowledge and skills. Career goals. Now, what are the career goals? Defining the career goals is just half the battle. An individual must set their mind on accomplishing the goals he or she has set. However, if one doesn't develop or map out their goals properly, it will be very hard to achieve them. When setting career goals, an individual should ensure that focus should be on the specific goal. Now we have another activity with us, setting legacy. Legacy, what is legacy? So legacy here is a great goal setting workshop exercise. Legacy is when we are inheriting something from the past. Humans are emotional beings, and it is easier to get them to set goals when there is an emotional explanation. Asking participants what legacy they want to set allows them to jot down what important tasks that are what to accomplish to feel like that they have lived a life worth living. This remarkable exercise will have the individual stick to their objectives even when they lack the motivation to do so. Goal setting may help the employees of an organization become more interested in their work. They can increase the employee engagement, participation, and motivation on the job. Now let's talk about short-term as well as long-term jobs. Setting both type of goals is very important. Short-term goals help motivate students along the way and achieve long-term goals. Think, what can be accomplished in an hour, in a day, in a week, and keep a check back with them weekly too. Write down the goals and make them more realistic. Long-term goals. These are the goals that support our vision. Each goal should have all the required actions to make them happen. A well-designed roadmap is all on one page. Here are some of the key steps to include your vision. Place a clear statement of your vision at the top of the page. This is the important guiding post that everybody should follow. Your long-term goals must be compatible with your abilities and skills. It is very important. Long-term goals, that means one can work hard, focused, and with great concentration only when we are having a strong desire for that. So they must be compatible with our abilities and skills. Long-term goals, as I told you, it's not a minute goal or a day goal. It's a minimum annual 2 years or 3 year goal. So one has to be consistent towards the actions. Stating, I want to win a Grammy Award. If you can't sing or play an instrument, it will set you up the failure. Your goal must be reachable within your time frame. Break a long-term goal down into smaller goals. It's always better to take Baby steps, then one big giant leap. Write a letter to your future self. A powerful exercise for goal setting is what? To write a letter to yourself when you are how many years old? 80 years old, while looking forward and visualizing your life. Now let's have some examples of goal setting. Let's see. My goal is to listen when the teacher is talking. What are the actions will I do? Look at the teacher, be quiet, ignore your friends. And one goal is finish the geometry, extra maths. What are the action plans? Do it at home, do it every day, do it fast. Learn the science definitions. It is a goal. And what are the actions? Divide the terms in parts. Practice at home every day. Learn and write. And one more thing to learn the definitions is to make flashcards. Now let's have a goal of improved score in social science. What are the actions? Learn daily. One should be more focused and hard work. Let me conclude. Let me have the privilege to conclude. Virtually all humans utilize some degree of goal orientation and the associated motivators at many times throughout life. This is true in childhood, on the job, on the ball field, and elsewhere. Let's have one or the other goal in our life to have a purpose in life. Thank you so much.